Hello everyone and welcome back to Town of Light. Let's have a look at
4th
this.
May, 1942.
Do I get to see it?
In the past, the patient had expressed suicidal intentions, never carrying out her intentions. Yesterday, she injured herself badly, stabbing herself in the stomach with sharp, pointed scissors. Sedated, restrained, and transferred to a restraining cell. 10th May. Transferred to the agitated ward for observation. Isolation, insulin shock therapy. 25th September. Positive response to treatment. She replies to questions and remembers what happened, but doesn't want to give explanations. She claims to have memory lapses, entire days about which she remembers nothing. She appears to be anxious and seeks reassurance. She fears to have done monstrous things in the periods about which she has no memory.
Okay. Can we open this? Nope. Did I accidentally go the correct way because I went this way because I thought it was the wrong way? And she walks so slowly I don't even want to go back and change anything. Like, I just jump out the back and run away. Anyway, now that it's so dilapidated like this, I'm pretty sure she would she can leave whenever she wants, so maybe running away isn't the terms we're looking for. Can I get up? Door storage, okay. Can I go in these doors? I can't go in them. Can I go down here then? Oh, hello. No, I don't think I can go down here. Can I go through these doors? Hey, look, boot prints and stuff like that. Hey, a thing! I think I'm going to be able to look at this thing when I can eventually get there and then go through that door on the other side of the hole. A bobbin is missing. Which one's this? And this one. This one. This one. This also says Renée.
In here, nobody laughs. I mean, really laughs. Not those crazy fools who laugh because people say they are mad. I don't know why, because they do really laugh. They say that I'm mad too, but I never feel like laughing. In the past, people laughed at me. But they were right, you know? You can't always cry, and people laugh when they are afraid, don't they? It happened to you, not to me, but ourselves. In short, they do that to show that they're happy. You ought to be offended because it's true, and deep down it's just like having pity, so to speak. But then you think about yourself, and so you laugh to say that it's okay. Everything will get better, that it's all shit. It's all shit, this place. You're not trying to tell me that it's not true, right? An intelligent person, educated, not like me. And if I can see that it's a load of shit, just imagine how much better you understand. No, come on. No, I feel fine here, you know? After all, I can do anything I want or say anything I want. No, come on. No, I feel fine here, you know? After all, I can do anything I want or say anything I want.
You sounded a little bit like Belle there with Say Anything I Want. Can we stop? So I can play the second one? I can't get behind it. I can't seem to do anything else with it. So I guess no, I don't get to listen to the second one. So we'll just keep on going. Across this way. Oh. More baths. Jeez. Can I turn this on? Can't really see it. Is that me? That looks like me. Why is there so much stuff about Renée just left out? Okay, anything else? Am I just gonna keep looking? I don't want to stop looking and miss something. Okay, that's it. Can I turn it off? This is just fire hazard if you don't. There we go. What's this? I know there's a desk over there with probably stuff that I want. So they're outside. More tinctures. It looked like that door just moved itself. It's probably getting slightly blown in the wind. Let's have a look at what's stamped on this side. It's a weird thing. Let's read this telegram.
28th August 1942. We hereby communicate the death of Ada T., mother of Renée T., a patient in your institution. No known relative. Sincerely yours, Lafrio P.
And then there was no escape. She was gonna come get you.
Left in the world. Nobody at all.
You have me.
Solitude is very strange. It muffles everything, slows it down. It's an endless scream which doesn't emit any sound. A silent shout. I can't stop looking at myself. I will never leave this place. There's nobody for me out there. These walls have become my skin. And the wretched desperation within them is my soul without a voice. Here, nobody weeps anymore. How I would love to feel life, desperation, and anger. I've stopped dreaming, daydreaming, maybe even thinking. I've lived in a reality which has corroded me, depriving me of everything, even of my capacity to feel pain.
Hey, we seem to be a bit faster now. Or is that my imagination just because we've been going so slow? Can I climb up here and get out? No. What about this side? No. I mean, I guess there's always the front door as an option. That's apparently not an option either. I guess I'm gonna have to do some of this kind of malarkey. That's not a door. Okay, I'm confused. Where do you want me to go? Oh, through here. Well, it's easy when you know where. Wow. Okay. You know, sunshine should be making it really beautiful. But it's just making it even more sad, I think. That's why that one didn't work. That's a toilet seat. This is the front. There's some more boxes. Hey, it's a wheelchair. Lots of wheelchairs. I'll just fall off the edge of that. Can I ride? Is this the bike that I used to get here on? Well, I can't ride it away. There is no help. This way?
5th May, 1943. Renee's in a good state of health. She eats and speaks, is orientated in space and time. Therapy suspended. 3rd December. She asks, reasonably, if she can leave the hospital. Evaluate patient for 6 months. 2nd May, 1944. Discharge denied, despite favorable psychiatric opinion. Patient has no home or means of support. 4th May. The reasons why discharge is impossible are explained. And in this manner, Renée learns of her mother's death 2 years after the fact. 5th May. During the night, she tried to kill herself by hanging herself with a sheet, saved by the nurses. Restrained to her bed, she once more tries to kill herself by suffocation. It is decided to perform a transorbital lobotomy.
No. You've got to give her some grieving time, right? Not only for her mother, but the fact she's going to be stuck in here. Final chapter. For the rest of her life. You know, that's gotta... The use of lobotomy spread rapidly in Italy compared to other European countries and America. The original technique was pioneered by A. Morris and perfected in 1937 by A. Fiamberti, who conceived the first transcranial lobotomy. I just made the rest of that up. The operation involved gaining access to the frontal lobe, so sawing through the bones of the orbit above the eyelids, and the demade the lobes. I don't know. Formaldehyde. Contrary to what was often thought, the patient did not always receive invalidating damage, although this was often the case. Yes. We still perform lobotomies kind of now. Although we call it the corpus callosum, which is the fibre between the two hemispheres of your brain. If you've got severe epilepsy as a last resort, because it seems to, stop seizures if you've got them all the time. Obviously that's very dangerous, so they try not to. These nurses and doctors seem sad. She seems worried. I have the hiccups. You are very close to me. Did I go to sleep now? Oh, hello. You're close to me again. Hello. Oh, hello. You again. You're very close to me. You are very close to me, sir. Can you not be so close to me? Oh, I don't want to watch this if this is what I think is going to happen. Anyway, nice bit of education on lobotomies there. Shame that I'm too slow of an out loud reader to read it. I could read it fine in my head. Yes, this was kind of the extent of it back then. It's just getting it in there and squiggling the stick around. Now it's a bit different. Oh. But they did think they were helping. Okay.
10th of June, 1944.
Why is that cry?
Operation successful. Patient tranquil and collaborative.
That's cry.
Motor coordination capacity reduced, but she's improving. Transferred to the tranquil department in the care of Dr. B. 25th of October. Continues to talk about Amara and her doll, Charlotte. The disturbances of motor capacity show slight signs of improvement. Difficulty walking, not capable of riding, and the nurses report that they have to help her dress, wash, and feed herself. In the summer of 1944, Renée was transferred back into my department. Aware of little, indifferent, hardly ever spoke. One day, she said, "When I find the courage to look at myself in the mirror, I see a young face which is aged and looks at me full of fear." She is a woman now who has changed profoundly compared to the girl that I had under my care several years ago. Only the sadness of her gaze and her intelligence are unchanged. She's so young, just 23 years.
That's the same age I am.
But is lacking all vitality. Perhaps her condition may improve, but probably not. Her life has been thrown away. And nobody did a thing to try to avoid this.
That really hits it when when I realise that she's the same age I am, and all this happened, and she can't tell reality. Well, the Renée we were playing as couldn't tell reality apart from hallucinations and fiction. I don't even know what to say. That was really touching. And this scene as well. I'm really sad now. I'm gonna have to go curl up in a ball and eat chocolate. Let my cat back in the house. That was really good. I enjoyed that. I've been playing it. Alright, I've just played it in the morning. It's, let's see, what time is it now? It is 1 o'clock now, and I had to stop. I stopped after each episode just to do a quick task, like, let the cats in, and back out again. I had to pop to the shop for about 10 minutes to get milk. But I just played this all morning. It's just that good, and I haven't felt like I've been playing for ages. Because normally I have quite a low threshold of games. That was really good. I really do recommend it. I wonder if we would have had different... I don't think it would have been a different outcome, but I wonder about different, certainties about what was real and what wasn't, based on what we said to her. So I would recommend that you maybe play it yourself and see if you can find anything different. Last song, Town of Light. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, where's the doctor? Yeah, cryotic male English voice. Smart. I was thinking, well, maybe I'll actually see your real name. No. Cry. It was Cry. It was Cry! And now I'm about to cry. Thanks for playing. That was really good. Thanks for making it. I really enjoyed that. And you didn't have stupidly long credits. That was... And when you think about it, they must have had that entire world, rendered that entire world that we saw, apart from maybe the school, in like one map, because you could walk all the way from the cemetery past the lake back into the building up the stairs without any loading screens. So that must have taken an incredible amount of work. I mean, it's not massive, but it's still pretty big. So yeah, maybe you guys should... I'm gonna have a look at Renée's diary. Apparently, that's the thing. Oh, hello. Let's have a look at this. Town of Light. Renée. My name is Renée. They told me I have to write in this diary, but I don't feel like it. It's not true that I feel better when I write. Actually, it's worse. I was a shy girl and just wanted to be like the others. But that's not what happened. No, I did things. If I think about them now, eventually they brought me here. I want to know what you did. You scribbled it out. Everything stained with that damned light. It happened for the first time when I was a little girl. I was 6 or 7. I was walking outside school and suddenly the noise started to melt in an indistinct rumble. The light increased out of all proportion and everything something lost its meaning. I could no longer recognise anything, objects, people, words, not even myself. Don't stare at me. The art in this is beautiful and terrifying. I felt fear as a physical sensation. It prevented me from moving, from swallowing, from breathing. Often God knows how long everything went back to normal. Only. Often God knows? I don't know. With but a new fear replaced the old one. Different, but terrible. That of the light coming back, and it did come back. And it did come back. Is that ECT I'm talking about? The memory of those years is hazy. Between the age of about 7 and 10, my memories are unconnected. And I couldn't say how many times and how frequently the light used to come. My mother gave me $1 around that time, Charlotte. Thinking back to it makes me want to laugh, but in the beginning I remember that I was afraid of her. I thought she wanted to harm me, to kill me, and take my place. But then the light would come, and she would stay beside me, and did not disturb me. I was able to talk to her, and so she became my best friend, at least until the second year of school, when everything changed. She didn't laugh at me, and if I had to say something to my mother, I had to say it. I had her say it. There we go. When the things inside me turned bad, she was the only one I could turn to. I know all this makes me blush, but Charlotte was a friend to me. I know that she was just a doll. I wasn't stupid. But at the same time, she was real too. I don't know how to explain it. It's difficult. My mother would cuddle her and tell her things. I guess she was trying to communicate with me, but back then I was too afraid to understand it. This is helping you think things. I didn't tell anyone about the light. I knew that something terrible was happening to me. I thought that I would die, and that the shame I felt was so deep and uncontrollable. Restlessness took over me. That is a very pretty robin, although it is gory. April is gone. I was scared when other people were meanly nearby. I saw fingers pointing at me, mouths laughing, condemning me. I tried to be alone. I would sit down on the ground and curled up in the dark. I would repeat any word over and over again. This helped me to not think, not to lose myself. I would spend entire days doing like that, hoping that my mother would ignore me. Her compassionate something hurt me and terrorized me even more, and so if I had to. So she was trying to help. Wait. Oh, different languages. Shout and shout and shout those words. Often, a few days, things get better, and little by little, I came out of my hiding place. But the fear was always there, under the surface, ready to take me even harder. How many pages are this? Today was so that I don't nightmares. I can't read that. My head doesn't want to twist, and my eyes don't want to. From that time, I have plenty I used from that time. I remember a recurring dream. Oh, so there was lots of nightmares. I something myself whether. Stop it, Hotmail. I asked myself whether it could have probably been a dream. I was in bed, enveloped by the warmth of the blanket in the dark, about to succumb to sleep, when I heard the bedroom door open. I turned to face the wall and did not have the courage to turn around. I only saw a shadow cast against the wall by the light filtering through the front door. Then I heard the door close again, and I thought that it might have been my mother, who, before going to bed, used to peep in to check whether I was sleeping. However, there was no time to breathe, a sigh of relief, for the footsteps approached the bed, and I heard the sound of breathing close by. Fear paralysed from me. Head to toe, the blanket pulled back. I remember the chill of fresh air on my spine. Someone sat at the end of the bed, and I trembled. Then the dream finished, because you blocked it out, I'm guessing, and I'm guessing it did happen. The light often came when I was at school, turning my fellow turning my fellow pupils into puppets that would terrorise me. To me they appeared transformed, with the bloodied heads of animals stuck where their own heads should have been. I was something on the floor, and I curled up on the floor and even wet myself. The teacher would try to console me and would smile at me, but I knew with her her eyes would, terrify me more, something. The comfort terrified her. Things did change. I don't know why. Perhaps turning the second year of school, changing schools. It was more or less in the same period that I became something with something. I remember the sensation of joy I experienced when I felt almost normal. Friends with someone. Became friends with Bruma. Let's go with Bruma. The light isn't coming, the demons have gone, and I have a real friend who speaks to me. I would repeat this to myself proudly, looking in the mirror, where I no longer saw an embarrassing reflection. Oh, I bet she's not real. It seemed to me that the world was a difficult place, but no longer impossible. Bruma. I do not understand what Bruma... I'm sorry, I can't read that name. It just looks like... something in an A. Is it Brenda? It's not Brenda. Saw me, in me, especially as she was almost 2 years older than me. I would tell her that this every month, every bleh, and then she would joke about it, saying, "Nothing, I don't see anything in you, which is what I like about you." Then she would hug me. But one day she said, and something, she said to me, "You and I are the same, don't be fooled. You are something and honest, and I'm not, but that is the only difference between me and you. You are something and honest." And she began to cry. I was struck by the perception in her words, but only today, after re-examining my font, do I understand what she meant. Things improved for a number of years, then suddenly everything precipitated. That evening I got home drunk, and the following morning a terrible crisis overcame me all of a sudden. What had I done? I was terrified. I thought I'd lost my sight. The light gummed up my eyes from the inside. Memories of the previous day emerged. Fits and starts. Images, flashes, which unleashed something monstrous inside me. Repetition of words was no longer sufficient, now that there was a voice in my head which repeated them louder than I did, and they were the words of accusation and blame. So I covered my ears and shouted and hit my head against the wall and then threw up. I'm guessing you had sex with someone or someone raped you that you could remember? I don't know. I remembered the doctor, the walls filthy with blood and vomit. My mother did not look at me. Bruma was crying but trying to hide it. Charlotte was beside me. I never told anyone what had happened. He came to visit me, but I refused to see him. I became agitated. I think he liked me, even though things turned out badly. For that period I began to suffer from memory loss. The few things I learned didn't help me at all. He told me I was working for him. Bruma said that sometimes he got drunk, people in the village talked about me. Sometimes something covered in black marks, didn't realise that was happening. What am I doing? I was no longer in control of my life. Okay? I can't read all this, it's just not... I no longer considered my body as something disgusting and ill. Far from it. I began to look at myself and take care of myself and smell my own skin. I began to explore and experiment, finding physical pleasure. My ideas were not very clean, and I never spoke to anyone about those things. Bruma, however, spoke about them. She boasted about her love stories and her young men, and to my eyes she was very lucky, always being wooed. I don't think wooed is the right word. By marvellous, glamorous and kind boys. Thus I fantasised about her adventures, pretending that if I was the man... as if I was the main protagonist. Completely different meaning there. How could I even like her? Used to go all out stuff. Occasionally, if I recall it, she had black and blue marks on her body. But I was something ingenious that if I did not understand, I did not put two and two together. Oh, so you do now. It was Don Jamor that explained things to me a few years later. He told me about Bruma's father and brother, but I was already very ill. The light had returned, and that thing had made me suffer even more. It was my wounded, and it was my world, and it was crumbling. When I spoke to Bruma about it, she turned her head away and was silent for a very long time. I did the very. Prince Charming doesn't exist, Renée. At least not for us. Oh. I was 14 years old. I've got 2 more years to go. I didn't think it was possible for a boy to look at me and desire me. When he asked me if I wanted to go for a walk, I didn't say anything. I didn't even have the courage to look at him. He felt that he was being accused, injured. I chased him away. I insulted him. He was haughty, handsome, lofty? I don't know, I can't read it. He said things about me to other people which he shouldn't have said. My mother called me when I came home. She sent me to speak to Don Jimo every day. He came back and tried to speak to me. I think he fancied me. Sometimes I sent him packing, and I started shouting at him. But other times I embraced him and held him tight, and I loved him. Okay. But he couldn't settle down with me. I was 16, and I was ill. I had no future. I didn't get out of bed for weeks, and then I did things I was ashamed of. I went to bed with men. The guilt tore at my soul, and the light came back to torture me. I invented stories to justify my actions. I couldn't clear my way. Oh, you invented stories. Maybe that was Amara, and you were really just like masturbating in the showers. Oh. Sounds like you got bipolar disorder. Ups, downs, hallucinations. I don't know. I'm not your doctor. Mum found out about it. Her voice split my head, and I pushed her away because I was afraid of dying, and I shouted to the whole world that what was happening to me and that I didn't understand. The police arrived and they carried me away. I remember the onlookers shaking their heads. They'd be better off without me, cleansed of shame and with something to talk about. That was really sad. Maybe I'll go online and see the missing words that I missed. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another time. Bye bye.